Hey everyone, how are we doing? Hello, 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 hello. Hello to Jim13. Hey Jim, always good to have you. Hey Disco Sophia, nice name. Hey Ace Does Stuff Live. Hello Superdoc33. Kira, hello, welcome to the stream. Hey Glaucus92 and Copitos and Commedia and Cosmic Whale and CD Melody and Dusk Wonder and Kiri Magic. Hey Cumberland Bandersnatch. Hello Glaucus90. No, I already said Glaucus. Glaucus? You've already had your hello. Don't be greedy. Wabi Kajo, hello, welcome to the stream, Nerd Piggy. Hello and welcome to Garden of Delete. Hello and welcome to Lily Anarchitty. Hello, Zenobi Goat. Hello, A Cassiopeia and Wendy Pixel Curatrix. And I think that's everyone. Say hello if you want your hellos. Get in here. Nat's just run away from the stream. Right when I started the stream, that's really cool. She just ran off right when right as we're beginning. That's really cool. So what are we doing today, Nat?
I'm ready. I'm prepared. I'm refreshed. I have my H2O.
You got your H2O?
I got my H2O.
Yeah. Should I put that there?
Yeah. That's good.
Pretty equidistant.
Yeah.
You can both speak to the chat.
Hello.
Ugh.
No, don't. Oh no.
Okay, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Look, it's a couple stream. It's all
two
about
for
these
deal.
cute dykes.
Yeah.
Whoa, what's up? What's bapping?
What are they gonna say? What are they gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna roast Kurzgesagt for being liberal Bill Gates stands. Bill Gates, for the last few years, has really been paying tons of science communicators on YouTube, although I'm sure he doesn't even need to pay them to do this, to promote his neoliberal, imperialist, monopoly capitalist vision for the future, for dealing with the pandemic, for dealing with climate change. And that shit kills. So let's fucking destroy it on stream.
Sounds good to me. I feel like we should mention Bill Gates's strategy for his reputation is always to launder his reputation through charitable causes.
Yeah.
Right.
Big philanthropy guy. Meanwhile, creating a monopoly for himself.
Sean, they, them. Welcome to the stream. Hello. Sorry, Sean said they didn't get a hello. Hi, Scribe D. Hello, Fancy Wookie. Okay, cool. I think I got everyone.
Bill Great.
Wookiees remind me now of when I was playing Star Wars Battlefront and I saw that person whose username was White King 1488, and I was just like, I just fucking Nazis ruin everything. I just want to see some Wookiees. I'm just trying to see some Wookiees, you know?
just want to see some Wookiees sometimes.
Yeah.
Not if they're Nazis, though.
Hey, Base Junkie, thanks for popping in. Okay, before we get any further in the stream, we should say we need to raise some money. What's going on is it's a tough month. Need to pay the bills. We have some anxiety that the lights are gonna go out. It sucks.
Money
Me needing a lot money now. Basically, it's a tough financial time for us, and we would appreciate any financial support that people can offer. You can subscribe or share or donate directly using Command Tip. Command Tip should be working. Should be. Hopefully. Nightbot was weird the other day. Anyway, Command Tip will contribute to this donation goal right here, and if you donate, like JMM1610 just did and Base Junkie did, thank you so much to both of you. That's wonderful. That will go towards an extra Pinko stream next month, because then I'll be able to pay Pinko the fees that the Clown Union has negotiated to come and do a stream here, which would be cool and fun. Bill Gates.
Super dark. Bill Gates famously advising Jeffrey Epstein on how to launder his reputation after he was first convicted. Good starting point.
Yeah. Bill Gates has a book called How to Avoid a Climate Catastrophe. It's ghostwritten. It's a bunch of horrific liberal propaganda. He says in it that the global north must lead the way
Love imperialism.
Yeah. It's just a green imperialist manifesto.
The people who've fucked everything already.
Yeah.
The people in power.
They must lead the way.
Have fucking exhausted the planet's resources and bodies of the global south.
Yeah.
They must lead the way in the
To expand on our financial situation a little bit more, we've got huge tax bills to pay. We have to pay like £1,000 to HMRC every month this year. It sucks. It sucks really bad.
If you are any kind of like freelance sole trader in the UK and you haven't heard of payment on account,
Look it up.
look it up because we didn't know about it.
Look it up.
And it sucks.
Bookworm. Yeah, so we're kind of struggling. I would appreciate any support that people can provide. But subs and cheers are good as well.
Yeah.
Oh, my hair's doing something bad.
No.
Right, Bill Gates. So in the book, he tells these stories about like the people who are going to be most affected by climate change, and that it's really disgusting. He tells a story about like Indian farmers who are struggling so much because they're not getting any water, and neglects to mention.
Why aren't they getting any water?
Neglects to mention that the water infrastructure in India is massively neoliberalized, so that like it costs absolutely extortionate rates for the poorest possible people.
Pay the most.
Yeah. He also tells a story about a poor Appalachian farmer whose land gets flooded and will have to sell it, and declines to mention that the biggest owner of agricultural land in the US is
Bill Gates.
William Henry Gates. Yeah, great. So Bill Gates is pretty fucking disgusting, basically. And yeah, as you said, he's been paying science YouTubers to do propaganda for liberalism. You look so cute.
Now I look smart and I can see better. And I can read the chat.
What was the book called? The book was called How to Avoid a Climate Catastrophe.
And it is read by Will Wheaton.
The introduction's read by Bill Gates, which is a real treat. A real fucking treat.
Embarrassing.
Let me tell you about climate change, guys. Yeah, Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton really brings a smug energy to the whole thing.
If Bill Gates spent the rest of his life doing that jumping over the chair trick, nothing else. You know, he had his meals, he had his friends. No.
Thank you, Cumberland Bandersnatch, for the £5 and saying "fuck capitalism." Here's some of my privilege. If Bill Gates spent his
had no financial imperialist empire, if he just spent the rest of his life impressing people at parties, jumping over the chair, I would be happy. I would be happy for the guy. That is the world that I'm fighting for.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't jump over a chair like that.
He should be made to do it in a little zoo.
Yeah, we can all watch.
Yeah, the billionaire zoo.
Well
the
done.
former billionaires.
Well done, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That they can show off their incredible talents.
Yeah.
Elon Musk has just given a variety of mechanical parts and tasked with inventing a way out.
Elon Musk is forced to perform stand-up comedy.
Ooh! Okay, so we're gonna watch...
As Zizek said, the worst thing that can happen to you is you get what you desire.
Okay, so we are gonna watch Kurzgesagt video. Thank you. We're gonna watch Kurzgesagt's video. We will fix climate change. Kurzgesagt is I don't know if they're German. Their name's German.
It's a German name.
They're a science YouTuber, YouTube channel, and they mostly do stuff about hypothetical, whatever. And yeah, they've decided to weigh into this and say we will fix climate change by explaining. Well, we'll see. We'll see what they explain. So let's go
By promoting Bill Gates. By promoting Bill Gates.
By promoting Bill Gates. So good. So very, very good. Right. Are we ready?
Curie Magic says, I jumped over a man today, so I'm obviously more talented than all billionaires who have ever existed. That's simply true.
I'm against prison, but a billionaire zoo? It's a good idea. It's a good idea. We just get all the billionaires, or everyone who used to be a billionaire under communism, they live in the little zoo.
I'm just saying I wouldn't hate that. They can have everything they need.
Yeah. Yeah. All their needs are met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Kira donated.
Oh, thank you, Kira.
Thank you.
Where's the...
She said it didn't pop up.
Oh, no. I wonder
did
if
it
it's
go?
here. Meredith K. Pseudonym, thank you for the £20 and saying, I'd say don't spend all at once, but the lucky.
It might get spent all at once.
It might get spent all at once. Yeah, Kira, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing, it might pop up later. I'll keep an eye out for it. Thank you so much for whatever it was. Warren Buffett's billionaire zoo enclosure,
Yeah.
he has to stack shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And the shelves, like, vibrate all their stuff off periodically. On the hour.
I'd love these people to just have to perform like a daily ritual of like performing what the nightmare capitalist bureaucracy used to look like. So they would just have to take on the different roles of like someone who really needs something from the system.
That works.
Someone who's sat there being like, oh, you haven't filled in the proper form. You have to,
Yeah, that kind of goes.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And then later we will be doing not you. My other co-hosts and I will be doing Red Planet about what is trans liberation and how do we get there with guest Katie Montgomery. It's gonna be a really cool episode. Wow. My most based thing this week is gonna be a tough one because I've had a hell of a week. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's still gonna be that I took supplies to my sickly comrade.
I think so. But
Yeah.
you also had some base conversations, so making plots.
I'm thinking more of
Scheming.
we had our anniversary.
Yeah.
Our anniversary is Valentine's Day.
7 years.
7 years. 7 years of Sophie and Nat.
Wacky.
Pretty wacky.
One must imagine Warren Buffett happy. I'm not sure why, but I think I've read that somewhere.
Okay, so Acast UPA, thank you so much for the £10 and saying charity streams have me tapped. Hope this helps. Thank you so much. It does help. It will help us get that Pinko stream. Right. It's time.
Right.
You ready?
Let's go.
You ready for this?
We will fix climate change.
We will fix climate change. We will fix climate change. We the liberals. Yeah. No, this is it's like, because I'm working on this thing at the moment called the world is not ending, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, I've decided in it to not use the language that like, we've done this to the planet like everyone else is using that language.
Yeah.
Because we didn't do this. They did this. We will fix climate change. But that's not what they mean here. Okay, cool. Let's get into it. It's time. It's time to begin. Okay.
Our home is burning. Rapid climate change is destabilizing our world. It seems our emissions will not fall quickly enough to avoid runaway warming, and we may soon hit tipping points that will lead to the collapse of ecosystems and our civilization. While scientists, activists, and much of the younger generation urge action, it appears most politicians are not committed to doing anything meaningful.
This reminds me that in the Bill Gates book, he says that he sees people protesting outside his offices, and they're asking him to divest his shares in oil companies. And he thinks, that's really cool. I admire their spirit. They remind me of the Vietnam War protesters from my generation. Then he says, it wouldn't be enough for me to do that on my own. It wouldn't fix climate change for me to divest my shares in oil companies, so I'm not going to do that.
He compares it to choosing not to eat imported grapes.
Yeah.
Also worth saying, just restating, the approach Bill Gates takes to climate change is the exact same one that he takes to vaccine rollouts, which is telling everyone they must get vaccines and fighting tooth and nail for the patents for those vaccines to be maintained, so that it's American companies, it's imperial core companies that make the profits, and it's global people in the global south who suffer without vaccination and die. He is
Yeah.
a murderer. He is personally responsible for mass death.
Yep.
And
He also has this whole thing of like he's gonna wipe out these different viruses and stuff. And science educators have pointed this out. Like he doesn't. Hazel and Q, thank you so much for the £25 and saying more pinko. You are officially part of the clown union. Hee-haw. Fucking people have pointed this out. Like his attempts to completely eradicate whichever thing, polio or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the money that he's spent on trying to completely eradicate this thing could be used to like effectively eradicate so many other diseases.
But Bill Gates' money should simply not be making any of these decisions.
Who would win, the smallest known organism or the richest man on Earth? Yeah. Okay, let's go.
The fossil fuel industry still works actively against change. It seems humanity can't overcome its greed and obsession with short-term profit and...
Yes, Bill Gates won't divest from fossil fuels.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's true.
Humanity can't overcome its obsession with greed.
Bill Gates can't overcome his obsession with
Yeah.
greed.
Humanity, sure. Sure. Okay, go on.
personal gain to save itself. And so for many, the future looks grim and hopeless.
Yep.
Young people feel particularly anxious and depressed.
True.
Instead of looking ahead to a lifetime of opportunity, they wonder if they will even have a future, or if they should bring kids into this world. It's an age of doom and hopelessness, and
Amster Quinn says, don't be silly, billionaires aren't human. True. It's true.
giving up seems the only sensible thing to do. But that's not true. You are not doomed. Humanity is not doomed.
The world's not ending.
Despite the seriousness of the situation, for years positive trends have accumulated, and there is finally some good news and a clear path towards our collective climate
Technologies
goals.
will save
I've seen
us.
people who call themselves leftists claiming that this like gave them hope and that this is made them feel it's all okay. So I'm really curious to see what they're.
I'm glad enough. Let's break that fucking down.
Yeah. It's always just the consumption production thing, right? It's just like Bill Gates having shares in oil companies. That's production. You know, that's how we produce stuff, which is infinitely more harmful. Oh God.
Welcome to our TED Talk. Please watch this video to the end. Check out our detailed sources afterwards to learn more. Okay, let's start with the scariest things. Cancelling the apocalypse.
Sean Nadem says electric cars won't solve shit. Yeah, so electric cars is an interesting one. Basically, Bill Gates discusses that a little in his book. I've seen some discourse on this. There's how we build stuff. There's how we power stuff. There's how we produce stuff, right? And like, electric cars would be better, but they would obviously still just get their fuel from however it is that we're producing energy.
And they would still require, like, massive extraction of lithium.
Yes.
In countries in the global south that suffer from imperialism.
We'll coup whoever we want.
We'll coup whoever we want.
That's an Elon Musk tweet if people don't know.
Some of the most widely shared stories about climate change are that it is an existential threat, the end of human civilization, and maybe even our own extinction event, and that it's basically unavoidable now. But what does science actually say? As of 2022, the global average temperature has risen 1.2 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial times. Limiting warming to 1.
Apon Master asking, is this going to be posted as a YouTube video in the future? Yes, every Sophie from Mars stream is uploaded to Sophie from Mars streams, my archive channel, except when they're shit. Except when they're shit streams, that suck.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want anyone to see this again.
This one will go up unless it's shit and it sucks.
I better be on my best behavior.
If you check out on YouTube Sophie from Mars streams, you'll be able to watch it there. Shout out to the archive channel. Hello, archive channel. Give me your fucking
Hello,
money. Hello, archive channel. If you want to contribute to the donation goal, you can go to streamlabs.com/SophieFromMars/tip, and it'll add on to that.
Ooh.
That over there.
Clever.
Yeah.
Snazzy.
Yeah. Well, they would add to the thing. It would be cool. It would be cool and good. and then they'd get another Pinko stream next month if they wanted that. I also want to say, if you have a Prime subscription, you can attach your Prime account to your what am I trying to say, Twitch account, and then you have a free subscription, and you can subscribe to this channel, and then it would cost you nothing, but we would get real, actual money. So, we should get back to the thing. What does the actual science say?
0.5 degrees was the most ambitious goal of the Paris Agreement, but we are not likely to meet it. Already with the warming we have today, hot places will get hotter, wet places wetter, and the risk and strength of extreme weather events increase significantly.
Our house is going to be underwater in 10 years by most climate projections. One quick note here. If Americans consumed like Europeans, that would have a massive impact on how bad climate change is. And what is meant by that is Europeans have public transport, like functional public transport. It's that America is a ridiculous car country and has no trains.
And planes.
And all their buses suck and are a punishment for the poor.
Planes instead of trains.
Yeah, exactly. And so if Americans consumed like Europeans, i.e. had public transport, so it's like socialism has such obvious answers.
Warming beyond 2 degrees makes all of these extremes more extreme. Extreme weather events more common, with more ecosystems under major pressure. Some will not survive. At 3 degrees, significant parts of Earth, especially in developing countries, might become unable to feed their populations. Heat waves will
Developing countries is a bourgeois propaganda term that assumes that all countries are on a development pathway from being savages to being liberal capitalist democracies.
To being real human beings who burn enormous fucking amounts of fossil fuels to live their daily lives.
Yeah.
And thus contribute to climate change.
Yeah.
At a rate equivalent to Americans. Like the
At around about this amount of warming, countries that lie along the equator, people wouldn't be able to go outside without dying. Yeah. So yeah.
Become a major global issue. Large-scale natural systems will break down. The scale and frequency of hurricanes, fires, and droughts will further increase and cause trillions.
I wonder what this video is going to say about China. I wonder if it will talk about China at all.
In damage. Poor regions and subsistence farmers will be hit the hardest. Hundreds of millions of people will need to leave their homes. In the 4 to 8 degree range, the apocalypse begins. The hothouse Earth, where things change so quickly that it may become unable to support our large human population, and billions may perish, leaving the rest on a hostile alien planet. A decade ago, for lack of action and perspective, many scientists assumed a 4+ degree world was our future, and a lot of public communication focused on exactly this future path. Luckily, it's much less likely that this version of the apocalypse will come to pass. If current climate policies stagnate, we're likely to end up with warming of around 3 degrees Celsius by 2100, which is scary and tragic and far from acceptable. But this is actually good news. How? In the last decade, we've seen enough progress that most scientists now think that we have likely avoided apocalyptic climate change. Although substantial risk still remains, we can pretty confidently say that humanity isn't going anywhere. Civilization might have to change, but it will endure. Which begs the question, what has changed over the last 10 years? And
the majority of carbon pollution has happened in the last 30 years. So since the neoliberals declared the end of history, is when the literal majority of pollution has gone into the atmosphere. We think of this as being an industrial revolution thing, and it's all, but actually, in the last 200 years is like less than 50% of the pollution, and the last 30 years is like the majority of it.
And like right? Andreas Malm points out that we're not just not lowering the amount of fossil fuel use.
Oh, 1 second. I'm Fish Dude in chat. How old are you? Please carry on. Please go on.
We are accelerating it. We're using fossil fuels at an increasing rate still. Like, they're still opening up new fracking, new fucking coal mines in Britain as soon as the unions are dead. for long enough.
Exactly.
Bring them back.
And like as Malin points out, people will start to link up like climate events with the systems that are causing the climate
And directly
events,
attack and
people
sabotage
will
the things that are killing
sabotage those things in response to extreme climate events. Worship FSM says nobody cares about climate change now that world war is ramping up. I mean, I don't think that's true. There are massive
Certainly
climate movements. XR is planning, Extinction Rebellion is planning something enormous in April. I don't think that's true at all.
I would also say that wars are bringing people's focus to the consequences of reliance on fossil fuels, and the mainstream like discourses around that are bullshit, but it does bring people's attention to how fossil fuel use and war and imperialism are linked up.
Yeah, I'm not particularly worried about nuclear annihilation. I just don't think any human being will make the decision to end all life on Earth.
That's kind of what I have to believe.
I just don't think that will ever happen, and I think that eventually. Weird that we haven't had an answer from I'm Fish Dude about how old they are. I have to assume that they're a tiny baby crying, just hammering the little keys on their keyboard, just whining, like wah, you know. What was I saying? I really want to know if this talks about China. Let's get more into it.
Is this really good news? The invisible shift. You probably know this story. The last decade has been an immense failure for climate policies around the world. Instead of passing comprehensive, binding bills that would meaningfully reduce emissions, we mostly did nothing. A lost decade.
No, we made
one negative record after another.
Sorry. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry.
So what Climate Leviathan?
I'm just finding the we significant again.
Yeah.
We mostly did nothing.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the United States brought in its Department of Homeland Security and NSA, and the first thing that they targeted with it was eradicating the climate movement and getting rid of all green activists.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did nothing. No. The liberal capitalists made it. The bourgeoisie made it actively worse.
Also, Climate Leviathan makes the extremely solid argument that liberal bourgeois capitalist democracies are simply not capable. They do not have the political instrumentation necessary to create the change that we need to avoid and mitigate the worst of climate change, because that requires not different technologies, it requires completely restructuring the global economy.
Yeah.
Communism.
Yeah.
You can't vote in communism.
And this story is true, and it's one reason why so many people are giving up. But it is not the whole picture. Despite the lack of climate policies and ongoing lobbying and misinformation campaigns from the fossil fuel industries, there was a lot of progress. Let's go back 20 years to see why today is so different.
Yeah, okay.
Between 2000 and 2010, greenhouse gas emissions had grown by 24%, 3 times as much as the increase in the previous decade. Subsidies for fossil fuels aimed at promoting economic growth caused a colossal increase in their consumption. For developing countries like China and India, coal was the cheapest fuel for growth, while rich countries showed little interest in changing their ways. In 2010, many people expected these trends to continue. Instead of decreasing fossil fuel use, its consumption would rise. The next decade turned out to be very different though. First of all, coal burning in developing countries like India has slowed down or leveled off like in China, and it's plummeted in rich countries like the UK and US. Since 2015, 3/4 of planned coal plants have been cancelled and
expensive and inefficient.
Yeah,
That's like that's such a big.
China's production is also there's a calculation of like fair share of consumption, and China and India actually have negative figures in this calculation, because the vast majority of what they use those for is to manufacture stuff to be exported to the imperial core.
Yeah.
So
24 countries have committed to stop building them. 10 years ago, that would have seemed like wishful thinking, but today we can say with confidence, coal is dying. It's just not competitive.
Can we Can we say that with confidence? Okay.
Britain is
anymore.
pushing to bring
Because
back coal
technologies
mines
we
to
thought
UK
would
right
remain
now.
expensive,
Yeah.
matured
on a
rapidly.
worldwide level, like, that's good. I'm sure that's true. It needs to be kind of reckoned with that, like, a big part of that is about convenience. It's not about a shift. It's not people doing the right thing. It's less profitable, which is good that it's less profitable and less convenient, but it's not a huge shift in people's approach to reckoning with climate change.
Yeah, this video is fucking bizarre.
Instead. Renewable electricity has shown explosive progress. In a mere decade, wind energy got 3 times cheaper. Solar electricity is now 10 times cheaper. Cheaper than coal
But
or
it's
any other
fake,
fossil
so
fuel
does
burning
that
power
mean
plant,
it's
despite the
been
massive
used
subsidies
3
and
times
global
more? Is it
infrastructure
taking
propping
over
up fossil fuels. 25
fossil
times
fuels?
more solar and nearly 5 times more wind electricity is produced today compared with
good.
10 years ago, which is of course not nearly enough. One of the biggest obstacles is the variability of their power output. Renewables need a lot of energy storage to be a reliable power source, like expensive batteries. Amazingly, battery prices have decreased by 97% in the past 30 years, 60% in the last decade
Why
alone.
is that? Why is that?
I always find they have an inconsistent output thing really frustrating, because like days when it's windy and days when it's sunny tend to be pretty complementary. So if you built lots of solar and lots of wind, probably be fine. That's what I'm saying.
We live in an economic system that makes us spin our wheels, exhaust ourselves, exhaust our planet for the profit of a few people who can't even conceptualize how much money and power that they have.
We have huge numbers watching right now. By the way, everyone, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can subscribe or cheer or donate directly using command tip. It would really help us out. Please carry on.
We are wasting the planet's resources on making ourselves miserable.
Yeah.
Not we. Capitalism.
Yes.
Capitalists are wasting the planet's resources and our human lives on making us miserable, on making things worse. And so fixating only on like changes in technology
Yeah.
is climate denial. It's climate change denial, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Any piece of media that tells you a story about how technological change is fixing things, rather than a story about we have all the technologies we need, we have all the resources we need for fair and just lives. And any piece of media that focuses on technology as the answer is Bill Gates propaganda, and
There's also just like we could do so much with recycling, basically, like with making sure that we don't produce more than we need to be.
we're not producing shit we don't even want.
We just keep on. We have such enormous waste in the imperial core, and we could just actually be just not making just constant garbage all the fucking time.
Which will serve all kinds of green technology like electric cars. You might
Trains.
say, well, that's great, but didn't Kurzgesagt's last climate video say that while wind and solar are nice, we need nothing less than a fundamental
Kira, I did receive your donation. Thank you so much.
transition of our global industrial system? Yes, but luckily the shift goes beyond just the energy sector. Throughout the economy, people are working on improving
What is the economy? What economy? What are you
Show me it.
What No, I just mean in this case. I mean yes.
Yeah.
Put the economy in my hand. Show me the economy. But also like literally, what fucking economy are you talking about? You know?
And still, they're just focused on changing technologies. This is
Yeah.
fucking green capitalism, consumer advocacy shit.
Yes. Yes. For them, the economy equals society. I mean, for all of us, Chell. Like we don't live in a society. We live in an economy. It would be nice as hell to live in a society. I wish. JMM, thank you so much for the £20 and saying Pinko funds. JMM, you are officially in the clown union. He honk, etc.
Designer Gay says, economy, why not ecology? Yeah.
There's this great bar graph in Climate Leviathan where they're showing all of these projections for how climate change will affect different things, and all of the economic bars have this like gradated gradual thing according to different degrees of warming, and then ecologically there's just like up to a certain point, and then like all life on Earth just wiped the fuck out.
Ecological collapse.
And it's just like,
and at the same point in their political, social economy bar, it's like
ooh,
struggling.
a bit worse.
Why do we think that the political economy is stronger than all life on Earth?
Yeah, seriously, literally. I am officially in the clown union. I don't know, Designer Gaze. Did you tip with a message for Pinko and to say that you want to be in the clown union? If you want to be everyone, if you want to be in the clown union, you can do a tip and mark it as being your clown union dues, and then you'll be in the clown union. Okay, let's watch some more fucking techno fetishism. Let's go.
Current technology to lower emissions. We're rapidly replacing old incandescent light bulbs with LEDs that are 10 times more efficient. In 2020, about 7 out of 10 new cars in Norway were electric or hybrid.
Oh my God.
In 2021, it was already 8 out of 10.
Oh my God.
And the list goes on, from electric heating and better insulation to ships travelling at half speed to save fuel. Wherever you look, you find scientists...
When we were flying, I think over the Aegean Sea, I looked out of the plane and I counted like 13 tankers just from the view. Just all these fucking tankers.
Wow.
Engineers and entrepreneurs trying to solve some aspect of climate change. Enormous amounts of human ingenuity are being brought to bear on this problem, with more and more people deciding to prioritize preventing rapid climate change.
More and more people.
Solutions for low-carbon production of cement, electronics and steel, and innovations like artificial meat and carbon capture are in the works. The more of these technologies we...
Fucking...
Artificial meat is a big deal. Like, you know, if we...
All these tools. More tools is great. More tools in our toolkit is great. It's a drop in the ocean compared to fucking...
If we did stop farming meat on an industrial scale, like it would, you know...
But they won't. They would just add it to one of the consumer options.
Yeah,
for
yes,
fucking...
yes. Because capitalism breeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Carbon capture. Yes, thank you, Sean, they, them. This is what I've been waiting for, is for them to talk about carbon capture. Carbon capture and storage is this miracle technology that liberal capitalists believe will save us from climate change, because at some point we will invent something that can take the carbon out of the air and store it.
This is a philosophical, ideological position that you'll see a lot in, like, this exponential rate of invention that will just continue and continue until and any problem that humanity will face,
let me get some water,
will hit the singularity, will hit the horizon, at which people are just so fucking smart and they're building on everything they've already done, and we'll fix it like magic. It's magical
just
thinking.
like magic.
We have the tools, we have all the technologies that we need already to deal with this shit. The change we need is
sharing.
Complete political economics. The change we need is communism. The change we need is producing and distributing according to anything that vaguely resembles our actual needs and desires.
Yeah.
Because we don't do that.
Yeah. Is Kurzgesagt an Elon Musk apologist? I mean, yeah. Right? Is that not what we're seeing right here? This is absolutely all
the same philosophy.
Yeah. Okay, let's do more. Let's do some more of this garbage.
Deploy, the cheaper new and better technology gets. The cheaper they get, the more people use them.
Bill Gates says...
Bill Gates is...
Yeah, Bill Gates has this whole thing about green premiums and how green technologies are expensive. This was the context in which he said that the global north has to lead the economy in future decades. He says that, like, we need to be the ones inventing these technologies so we can sell them to the global south.
For what money?
It's just such scum.
Where would their money? We need to be inventing them, reduce the premium so people in the global south can afford them. People in the global south are they are living with a net deficit where they are sending more resources, more money out to the imperial core every single day.
People are complimenting my drip, and I just want to point out that I embroidered my name on these jeans. Can you see this? Can you see? That is my name, yes.
It just drives me insane to see people talking about money like it's real when we're talking about fucking apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's invented.
Yeah.
It was invented.
Yeah.
It was literally invented to make people give their resources to soldiers so that wars could be funded. Like this is the history of fucking like money on a big scale. It's war. It's war. It's kings and war.
Yep.
And so on. We can see the impact already. The domestic CO2 output of rich countries is falling without a major recession. Since the year 2000, the EU as a whole shows a 21...
What was that?
Go on.
Can we...
Yeah, go on.
What did they just say?
We can see the impact already. The domestic CO2 output of rich countries is falling without a major recession.
Bobby Kennedy said, the gross domestic product measures everything in life except that which makes life worth living.
Without a major recession? Like, these things aren't linked because they have done nothing near enough to actually produce any kind of economic
Bill Gates says in the first pages of his
stuff,
book, Bill Gates says in the first pages of his book, like, we saw a massive decrease in the amount of emissions being produced and put into the atmosphere under the coronavirus pandemic. And it's just like, yeah?
Because people were working less.
Uh-huh.
Because people weren't spinning their wheels, having to do shit.
Yeah.
As much.
We figured it out. We solved it, everyone. And then he goes on to just completely shit the bed.
How can they fucking say... No, these things are not linked. These changes in technological use, because they are a drop in the ocean.
Yep.
We are going through a fucking recession right now. What the fuck? How... Okay.
Yep.
Since the year 2000, the EU as a whole shows a 21% decrease, Italy 28%, the UK 34%.
Yes?
The imperial core
Yes.
could be operating on a completely carbon neutral basis. They could be putting no fossil, like they could be burning no fossil fuels, have zero CO2 emissions, and could still be responsible for the largest portion of climate change and CO2 emissions, because that's how our economy works. We outsource all the fucking nasty shit to people that we have power over.
I need to say Pinko Simpa 169, thank you for the £20. Give me Pinko or something similarly funny, but there is nothing like Pinko, so give me Pinko. Pinko Simpa 169, you're officially in the clown union, he honk, etc. Fuck was I gonna say? I'm reading this awful liberal book at the moment called The Uninhabitable Earth by David Wallace Wells. Actually, I just finished it. And Wallace Wells keeps on putting the damage of climate change in terms of dollars, and like keeps on pointing out that that climate change will do more damage to the economy than like wealth exists in the world right now.
It's a fetish. There's a word for it. The commodity fetish.
Don't kink shame. don't kink shame. No, I find the putting it into dollar figures really interesting, because it's just saying like capitalism cannot survive what capitalism is doing to the climate. Like it cannot possibly survive.
Yeah.
So what he's saying about global, like without recessions or whatever right now, it's just like, yeah, well, it's gonna fucking it's over, baby. It's so over anyway. Oh jeez.
But anyway.
I'm ready.
What I wanted to
Tell
say
me.
was the United Kingdom, for example, does more to damage life on Earth in Westminster and in Canary Wharf than it does in all of its power plants with all of its cars, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's it.
Cool.
5%, Denmark
Oh, I should remind everyone that it's oh shit, I'm gonna go over to the other screen for this. I just got a message that Blake is coming tomorrow. Tomorrow is February 20th. February 20th is Get Really Baked and Watch the Matrix Day. So if you're somewhere where you can legally blaze it 420, get your legally acquired copy of the Matrix and participate in this trans community holiday. It's going to be a good and chill time. I'm going to be watching Matrix, Animatrix, the Matrix sequels, Matrix Resurrections, all back to back. 11-hour runtime, baby. Gonna be good shit. Okay, sorry, I was derailing from the thing. While I have your attention, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can subscribe or cheer or donate directly using command tip. Okay.
Hi to Laura.
Hi, Laura.
43%. But the best news may be that emissions are no longer necessarily coupled with the economic growth. In the past, this was an inconvenient truth. To get richer, you had to emit more, which led to fierce arguments between
Most of the emissions in the atmosphere, most of the carbon in the atmosphere has gone there since Al Gore released Inconvenient Truth.
What he's not going to say
Yeah.
is that the richest countries
Yeah.
per capita
Yeah.
have exported all of their emissions to poorer countries.
Yes.
And so they have financialized fucking economies, they have service sector economies,
Yeah. Yes.
and everything they live off is produced elsewhere. That is not solving the problem.
Yep.
That is putting it somewhere else for the poorest people on the planet to suffer and deal with the consequences.
Pedra in chat says you can just say shit on a YouTube video with a good narrator and animations, huh? Yeah, you can just say whatever shit you like. We should just animate something.
And this shit is all, it's all, you know, that's the reason channels like this are recruited to spout this propaganda.
Yeah.
Because they have this affect of intelligent, reasonable,
Developing and
progressive, fucking science knowers, science havers. Hank Green, fuck you for ever promoting Bill Gates. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but that's absolutely fucked. Absolutely fucked what you've done, and the trust that you have completely abused in science communicators.
Yeah.
And it fucking kills people. The pandemic, that shit fucking kills people. There's a good reason that people do not trust advice and communications and science communicators around shit like vaccines, because they are not given reasons to trust, and the people that Bill Gates is not trustworthy, and promoting his perspective on this shit directly kills people.
countries about the fairness of reducing emissions while their populations were still poor. But in the last decade, we've seen that it is possible to increase prosperity without increasing emissions. Emissions in the Czech Republic dropped 13%, while their GDP grew by 27%.
Yes, because they've financialised their economy and they're moving to a service sector economy, and people elsewhere are making all of their shit that they are living off of.
Prosperity.
You can't fucking black box economies and countries and say, look, their GDP is going up, the numbers are going up, line is going up, but their emissions are going down. Win. Fuck you. This is so...
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Mighty Ina, the cool goth dog Pokemon, has just tipped us £12.32. So thank you for that, and thank you for saying awoo.
Reduced their CO2 emissions by 14%, while increasing GDP by 15%.
That's meaningless.
Romania saw an 8% decrease and 35% growth.
Yeah.
And even the largest economy on Earth, the USA, decreased emissions by 4% while growing their GDP by 26%. Some of you may call this a numbers trick, that rich countries are just exporting emissions to poorer nations by moving the dirty parts of their economies like manufacturing. But even when
100 million dead. iPhone vuvuzela. George Orwell 1967. Animal Crossing. You were gonna say something?
He looks like he's about to address my fuck you.
Okay, I'm ready.
To poor and
You're about to get owned and just completely flattened in the marketplace
I
of ideas.
doubt it,
It's gonna
but-
wreck you in the mind dojo right now.
Yeah.
nations by moving the dirty parts of their economies like
Let me
Yeah,
just
I would say that, yeah.
let me just quickly chuck a command vuvuzela in chat there. And whap. Nice.
manufacturing. But even when we account for all of our imported goods, the numbers still look positive.
Output.
It's no longer a matter of having to choose between prosperity and the climate, as it seemed to be a decade ago.
Fake, money is fake, money is fake,
Prosperity.
money is fake, money is fake.
I'm hating this word prosperity.
Developing
Okay. Yes.
Money is fake.
Yes.
What are people getting? What quality of life are people having?
Yeah.
Continue.
imported goods, the numbers still look positive. It's no longer a matter of having to choose between prosperity and the climate, as it seemed to be a decade ago. Developing countries will profit from that because as rich countries pay for the expensive development of green technologies, they can adopt them more cheaply.
This is specifically precisely the Bill Gates line, which is specifically precisely fucking green imperialism. It's
Yeah.
Why should developing countries that have produced the least CO2 and have suffered fucking colonialism
Yeah.
and are still paying
A bill for being
a
colonized.
bill for being colonized?
Yep. A bill
pay
for being
for
enslaved.
shit. Why should they pay for shit?
Yep. Yep. Green imperialism is a thing now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Capitalism walks on two legs, right? Apocalypse and bright, prosperous future. And like it loves to use, and these two legs are surplus capital and surplus labor, right? We don't like to think that like it's capitalism has to
Very
like
robust.
soak up its surplus capital and surplus labor with stuff.
Yeah.
And so giving people jobs to do or giving projects to work on are vital for capitalism to keep on growing. And so climate change is this huge opportunity for capitalists.
New space race.
Yeah.
They can skip most of the high emission phase that today's rich countries went through. We are at the point where not decarbonizing is a bad business decision. And we haven't even really talked about solutions like
That this development phase that rich countries went through, they industrialized and then deindustrialized by shifting to service sector economies.
And moving their industrial production elsewhere.
The production has to be done somewhere, you know? Liberal YouTuber Reed Graeber challenge. I agree, Cosmic Envy.
capture. In 2000, it didn't really exist. In 2022, that technology does exist and costs around $600 to
This is their carbon capture and storage thingy. This is their little thingy. It's got fans and a little tank on it.
Sad.
Because it doesn't exist. They just imagined what one would look like. This is their little stand-in cartoon for their miracle invention that's going to save the planet. Okay.
remove 1 ton of CO2 from the atmosphere. As investment pours in and the technology matures and begins to scale, it's likely that these costs will plummet over the next few decades. So everything's fine then? Well, let's not get carried away. All of these processes are great, but not nearly fast enough. We're still doing way too little, and technology will not magically solve everything. We need to use
Yes.
fewer resources and use them longer, design consumer goods that are repairable and durable, and decrease our energy requirements. We need much better infrastructure, agriculture, and cities. It will still be hard work, especially to get the right policies passed and enacted. But for the first time ever, there are a few trend lines pointing solidly in the right direction. And now imagine if all of this was achieved without proper financial and political support, and despite fossil fuel lobbying, just think what humanity can do when climate change finally gets the political attention and funding it needs.
What would have to change? what would have to change for that to happen?
Yeah.
Because it hasn't happened for half a century.
Yeah.
Why would we expect it to change under the same system that produced it?
Yeah.
What would have to change?
Yeah. We would all have to consume better.
Give it more attention.
Yeah. Raise more awareness.
Maybe do a little charity fundraiser
Yeah. Let's do a fundraiser stream.
for the climate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. To save the world.
So is it okay to feel hopeful again? The situation is still dire and serious, so what's the point of focusing on this side of the story?
It's not okay to feel hopeful again. Feel despair. Feel angry. Get out and organize.
The trap of hopelessness. Climate
This is why I
change
say
can
it's
feel
making our world
overwhelming
better
and
in
make
videos.
your future
Yeah, I'm making a point in that I'm not there to offer hope. Like I'm not there to offer hope. I want people to be fucking angry.
We're here to take it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're here to take it.
This is the future we deserve. We should take it.
Yes.
We,
We.
us, human beings, not billionaires.
seem bleak. The sadness and hopelessness that many people feel is real and very destructive because it causes apathy.
Yeah. If
Apathy.
there's a problem that is really overwhelming and nobody feels like they have any capability of addressing it, they will turn away from it because it's too scary.
Crystal
and
Cat says, riot in the streets in Minecraft. The last capitalist we redacted will be the one who sells us Minecraft.
Red Planet every week.
Check out Red Planet later today.
That is only serving the fossil fuel in
Someone's just said in chat, this is propaganda for liberals to put their feet up and feel like everything's in hand. And I
Yeah,
completely agree.
absolutely.
This is absolutely what this is. Yeah, like I've been worried about this with my video, like that.
Yeah.
That it'll give people the wrong message, that they'll feel like, oh, it's all fine, and I'm like, no, we need to, we have to act, we have to organize,
Yeah.
we have to sabotage the systems that are killing the planet.
We have to work hard, but thankfully, the shit that we will be fighting for is the shit that will make life better for us immediately along the way. You know?
Yeah. Yes.
The shit that we have to fight for is the shit that will make things better in their totality. Communism.
Yeah.
industry that is still delaying change however it can. In a sense, they have weaponized hopelessness.
Absolutely.
We are now in phase 4 in the public debate about rapid climate change action. Phase 1 was, climate change is not real. Phase 2 was, climate change is real, but not caused by humans. Phase 3 was, climate change may be caused by humans, but it's not that bad. Phase 4 is, climate change is no longer avoidable.
Yes.
We are doomed, and it doesn't
Good
matter
point.
what we do. If we want the world to change, we first need to believe that change is possible,
But still thinking
and
that
we have
money
an
is
abundance
real.
of evidence that it is. Changes to our industrial system are gaining momentum. Technology gets better and cheaper. Climate change has become a key issue in most free elections.
And what does that do? If climate change has become a key issue in most free elections. Free elections.
I said this the other
Free
day.
and fair elections.
Until the end of the current political order, all American elections are going to be a choice between the fascist and the Democrat candidate who is not the fascist. And it's just like, and the eco-fascist is going to be a big feature of this. Yeah.
What has climate change being an issue done for dealing with climate change? Not got good answers out of this video
Awesome.
so far.
As more and more
Well, there's 4 minutes left.
younger people
It'll
move
turn
into
around.
influential positions, they prioritize climate change and work on new solutions. In 2022, most governments
Like
not only
communism,
acknowledge
yeah.
You could tell it was young people because that bird has a skateboard.
A
Totally. Wizard. Radical, bro. Fuck, man. It's just like young people are recognizing at incredible rates that we just need communism. It's the only way that we're going to save the planet. Yeah.
and work on new solutions. In 2022, most governments not only acknowledge it, but set their own net zero goals in democratic and autocratic countries. The results of years of fighting a steep uphill battle are now clearly visible. The pressure needs to keep increasing to make sure that the promises made today are actually kept. Climate doomerism is the equivalent of giving up, even though you can still prevent not just the worst case, but also mitigate most of the bad things, make changes in time to adapt better, and prevent the poorest from suffering. That is why hopelessness and apathy are so dangerous. If the last, in many ways, wasted decade has shown anything, then it's...
Right, but what do they want you to do after watching this video? Like, in terms of apathy. Like, what do they want you to do? Is it support more wind farms? Is it reduce green premiums?
Invest in green technology.
What's you as an average human being, a member of the working class, what is your reaction to this video supposed to be?
Write to your congressperson, tell them you really care about climate change, and they will have your vote if they say they care about it too.
There are many phrases for doing the wrong thing. Screwing up is a somewhat rude one. Writing to your congressperson to get Lemony Snicket out of jail is an oddly specific one.
That progress is being made, and that dire scenarios are just predictions, not our sealed fate. As of 2022, based on current global policies, we will end up in a 3 degrees world. Now it's our job to yet again prove the predictions wrong, despite how serious and urgent things are. To turn that 3 degrees into a 2 degrees and then see where
We're going to end up in a 4 degrees world. We are, like, most likely going to a 4 degrees world.
No, we're going to get communism. There's just no reckoning. There's zero reckoning in this. With even there's small mentions of the poorest and developing countries. Even the, like, you know, limited, like, IPCC materials around this shit acknowledge climate justice as necessary.
You can't protest in the UK. I guess we have to ask nicely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good news.
Yeah.
Reckoning with climate change.
Yeah.
In free and fair elections.
Yeah. Someone's saying, I love how the 2 degrees is green here. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's in the safe zone. That's the cool and good zone.
I just feel like the goalposts are being shifted, but...
Yeah, a little bit.
can go from there. For that, we need hope. And we hope we gave you that today, at least a little. That you feel that things are serious, but also that you have a future. That you can have kids without dooming them or the world.
You would have to be such a fucking moron to have gotten hope from this. This is just like, oh god.
It's just really tragic and small. And there's no reckoning with...
What action are you supposed to take after watching this video?
What the system that produces this death and destruction is.
Yeah.
Where does it come from? Why is this happening?
That taking action today is worth it.
What action?
And that despite powerful industries doing everything to delay it, society is changing. If you need a more concrete roadmap of what you can do personally, we're working on a follow-up video to talk about that in greater detail.
Okay.
Doomerism, inactivity, and weaponized hopelessness are the only trump cards left for the power.
Speaking of Trump, that bird's Trump, right? This bird with the little money hat.
Yeah.
That's Trump. That's a Trump bird.
Gim.
Orange
Those
bird
that don't
bad.
want change, don't let them win.
There's a dang Cheeto in the birdhouse.
We're still excited about the future, and we think one of the best things you can do to keep your optimism and curiosity up is to learn new things. If you don't know where to start, our friends from Brilliant.org have got you covered. Brilliant makes
this is just
massive
mad.
courses like
Okay.
in maths,
Alright.
TF up,
Fine.
and into
Who
all the
cares?
content,
Fuck you.
manipulate,
Yeah.
almost without
Clever
anything of
people
some
will
perspective,
save
get
us.
extra
Yeah.
power
STEM.
for Kurzgesagt,
Educated
which
people
unlock
will save
We love to create.
And all
To
we
do
need
that.
to do is for everyone to just get more educated so they think the right things.
Okay.
And then...
We have a bunch of time left. You want to watch the other video? It's about the same length. Can you fix climate change? No asterisk.
Never before in human history have we been richer,
Can
more
you
advanced,
fix
more
climate change?
powerful. And yet,
Yeah,
we
there it
feel overwhelmed in the face of rapid climate change. It seems
Though I will say this, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can subscribe or cheer or donate directly using command tip. Also, on your way out when we're done, please go follow Red Planet Live, twitch.tv/Red Planet Live at 8 p.m. It's currently 6 p.m. UK time at 8 p.m. So in a couple of hours, we're going to be doing our weekly show, Red Planet, not Nat. Me and my co-hosts, Kira and DJ Mule and Tim, Conquest of Dread. We're going to be talking about transliberation, what it means and how we get there, with guest Casey Montgomery. It's going to be really cool. Anyway, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can subscribe or cheer or donate directly using command tip. Let's watch this video.
simple.
Can you fix climate change? No asterisk. Cool. Love that. Love that so much. Yes, you can. Yes, we fucking can. Anyway, all right.
On the surface, greenhouse gases trap energy from the sun and transfer it to our atmosphere. This leads to warmer winters, harsher summers. Dry places become drier and wet places wetter. Countless ecosystems will die while the rising oceans swallow coasts and the cities we build on them. So why don't we just, prevent all of that? Well, it's complicated. The public debate about stopping rapid climate change often focuses on a few key features like coal plants, cars, or burping cows.
So he said like there because like is a very common part of parlance. In this he said, why don't we prevent all of that?
So why don't we just, prevent all of that?
To deliberately try and sound like a stupid person, like a young person who says like all the time, but actually just is the stupid word in that sentence.
Yes.
Why don't we just prevent all of that?
Yeah. I simply would not live on a dying planet.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, it's complicated. The public debate about stopping rapid climate change often focuses on a few key features like coal plants, cars, or burping cows. And so the solutions are often simplistic. Rows of solar panels, biking to work, something sustainability. And a huge talking point is personal responsibility.
Should we-
Simplistic. Rows of
Consumer choices, blah, blah, blah. Green capitalism.
Get away from
Love
carbon,
to see-
get away from fossil fuels, drive your electric car, burping cows.
Yeah.
Burping cows? Okay, sure.
Methane production.
It's cow burps. Yeah, sure.
Methane production. It's not nothing.
No, I know it's not nothing. I know that the methane production from cows is but it's the land used to it's the meat industry, you know? It's the huge scale on which we have these herds of cattle.
burping cows.
Taken down.
And so the
forests.
solutions are often simplistic. Rows of solar panels,
What's the Roots maneuver line? Cutting down to the rainforest to I can't remember it now.
biking to work, something sustainability. And a huge talking point is personal responsibility. How you should change your lifestyle to prevent rapid climate change, which we'll find out together in the next few minutes. This is one of those videos where we want to encourage you to watch to the end.
I was going to be like, good. Attack the personal responsibility angle. And then he just said, we'll find out how you should change your personal lifestyle to deal with climate change. So maybe I had a little too much faith. I hope he does criticize the personal responsibility angle.
Because to discuss real, doable solutions, we first need to understand.
I looked it up. The lyric was "Cutting down the rainforest for cattle to graze is killing the populace," and I just think this is like, these are the fucking hip hop lyrics we had in the 90s and 2000s before the fucking annihilation of the climate movement. But yeah, anyway. Thank you, Designer Gaze, for the £1. Kurt to be like, want to solve climate change? Please pay me so I can give you these gas company funded lectures. And remember that time I worked for pharmaceutical industry to make fake videos as their ads? Here's the Andy Tate of climate change. Yeah. 20 has tipped £20 and said, find your YouTube stuff recently. Love it. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
The problem.
here again.
A fuller picture. Modern industrial society, as we constructed it in the last 150 years, is inherently destructive to the planet. Basically, everything we do to make our lives easier, safer, and more comfortable is making things worse for the biosphere. The food we eat, the streets we walk on, the clothes we wear, the gadgets we use, the way we...
Not us. Not everything we do to make our lives easier.
Also, again,
maybe he's going to criticize
the majority of carbon in the atmosphere has been put there in the last 30 years. We have this myth about the Industrial Revolution being the thing, and that it's catching up with us now, and that's not what has fucking happened.
We move around and the pleasant temperatures we artificially create around us. While most people know about the serious impact of energy, beef, cars and planes, many major polluters are barely ever talked about. The emissions leaking out of landfills are as significant as the emissions of all the jets in the air. More CO2 is released to run our homes than from all cars combined. And the emissions produced when making a new car is equivalent to building just 2 meters of road. So it is nice to switch to electric cars, but they won't solve anything if we keep building roads the same way. Fixing one small part of the industrial system is not enough. Each of the many different parts needs its own solution, and many of them aren't straightforward.
I'm not articulate on climate change. What is the consensus on Earth liberation? Do you mean the Earth Liberation Front? I've had some weird stuff about that. I might be confusing with someone else. Anyway, hey Disabled Jess, good to have you in the chat. These ties into horrible anarcho-primitivist shit about being disabled people having temperature regulation, which is the problem. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
But even where we know...
Sorry, wrong screen. Just giving you all a chance to appreciate the fit some more. There it is. That's the look. This is actually I borrowed this from a friend, but it just looks fucking great.
What to do. Just because a solution exists doesn't mean we're able or willing to implement it.
Renault has tipped £5 and says, do you get more off this than a Twitch sub? Absolutely, because Jeff Bezos doesn't get a cut.
There are many grey areas in the fight against rapid climate change. The most prominent one is the divide between rich and poor. Emissions.
Sorry, why is that a grey area? There are many grey areas in the debate around climate change. One of the most prominent ones is the divide between rich and poor. What's the grey area
I guess
there?
he just means controversial. He might piss off his boss Bill Gates with what he says next. Hopefully, let's find out.
Versus poverty. There is a clear connection between the prosperity of an...
No, what he's going to say is that people in China should remain poor.
Cool.
Nation and its carbon emissions. In other words, richer people tend to cause more emissions. So the key to fixing climate change is simply for the world's richest to cut back on their extravagant lifestyles, right? While this would help, it wouldn't make the problem go away.
Oh, so we shouldn't bother doing that then.
This is because 63% of global emissions come from low to middle income countries. Countries where most people are not living extravagantly, but are trying to escape poverty at worst and achieve a comfortable lifestyle at best. The unfortunate reality is that currently, escaping poverty and becoming middle class creates unavoidable emissions.
In a capitalist fucking hell world.
Yeah. Middle class as well. Fucking hell. Also, again,
to become a real person,
this thing about like 63% of the emissions comes from the poorer countries. Again, why? What is it they're producing? And for who? To be consumed
also,
where?
Also, just the simple fact of demographics. The imperial core is the global minority.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely. But it's 83% of the wealth is inside the imperial core. You know? Fucking hell. Shit is produced in China and then has to be shipped around the world to here. Shit is farmed in India and has to be shipped around the world to get here. It's like, it's not... Oh. This makes my soul hurt, these fucking videos.
So asking developing countries to cut emissions just looks like an attempt to keep them down.
Yes, it is.
It's very hard to argue that a region should protect their primeval forests and spend money on solar panels instead of burning wood when it can't meet basic needs for significant parts of its population.
So
But
help
cutting back is not a popular demand.
them. So just help them.
Don't help them. Stop stealing from them.
Oh.
Stop stealing from
Ooh-wee.
them.
Wow.
Especially if the countries making these demands got rich by causing environmental damage in the past. So for billions of people, more emissions are a good thing, personally. When we forget about this, we tend to propose unworkable solutions.
True.
Take concrete. 8% of CO2 emissions are released by the concrete manufacturing industry.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. Stop using concrete, right? But right now, concrete is also a cheap and easy way for growing populations in developing countries to build affordable housing.
I hate them saying developing country. Is it just like it makes my like hairs stand up every single fucking time. Alice is in chat and just said also 40% of emissions come from Europe and North America, which is a tiny part of the world for nearly half the emissions. Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely.
And there are many examples like that. Even rich countries aren't immune from disagreeing about rapid climate change solutions. Banning coal, gas and oil from the energy mix is slowed down by heated discussions about what should replace them. Citizens can be strictly against nuclear power, but also oppose wind or solar infrastructure in their backyards. In principle,
Yes,
all of these issues can be overcome, but there are things we don't currently know how to overcome. The most problematic one is food. Emit or die.
Oh, boy.
We will soon need to feed 10 billion people, and we don't know how to do that without emitting greenhouse gases. Because of the nature
Jesus
of modern
Christ.
food production that requires fertilizers or manure, it's impossible to have zero emissions food. Rice alone emits so much methane each year that it practically equals the emissions of all the air traffic in the world. What's worse is that the foods
I'm okay with that. That's food.
we like the most
Yeah.
emit the most. 57% of food emissions come from animal-based foods, although they make up only 18% of the world's calories and 37%
Yeah.
of its...
If only
Doesn't
there
make
was-
much sense,
If
does
only
it?
there was some way you could avoid animal products. If only there was some way that we could not have industrial global animal farming.
I'm sure that is what he's advocating.
protein. And as people across the world grow richer, they want more meat.
Yes, true.
Traditional diets in most
In China, people know about like the one-child policy and like the idea of the CCP having these policies for moderation. Like one example is that you have, I forget the exact figure, but it's something like a kilo of meat allowed per person per week.
Really?
Yeah, like it's a per day thing, and like it rolls over. So most people choose to just be vegetarian most days, and then like have a meat dinner, you know, and that's like that's
Hadn't heard about that.
again, it's like so many like awful authoritarian policies, and it's like actually they're just doing a very sensible thing that keeps their consumption
That would
in
never,
a really,
ever,
really
ever
healthy place.
have a fucking snowball's chance in hell of going through two-party first past the post
Yeah.
neoliberal
I'm very far from a CCP stand, but they do have like, you know, they have very sensible policies about climate change and are doing an enormous amount to combat climate. Hey Joe's in chat.
Joe.
Yeah, they are doing an enormous amount. They're planting forests. They're protecting enormous amounts of their like natural landscape and stuff.
Relative to
Yeah.
cultures were primarily plant-based with a little meat on top.
It's again like no stan of the CCP. I'm an anarchist, but like just compared to like America, China is so good, so good.
But with the rise of industrial-style meat production and factory farming, meat has become a staple food, a regular indulgence in developed countries, and a symbol of status and wealth in developing.
it's like this is all true, but it's still specifically like problematizing people in the imperial periphery and not addressing why it's like why they've been forced into poverty. Like
Yeah.
Countries.
Oh, God.
Today, about 40% of the world's habitable land is used for meat production in some form or another,
Yeah.
the size of North and South
God,
America
that's fucked.
combined. This is land we could otherwise allow native ecosystems to regrow,
absolutely
like forests in the Amazon,
absurd.
and
Yep.
suck carbon out of the atmosphere.
Again, we
But
couldn't
didn't even
instead,
know that.
most of it is
Look,
used.
this is what I said in my video, like communism on Mars.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was like,
Oh no, that was great.
we had to choose between having meat and having a bean that makes you go really fast, and people chose the bean. You know, I really think this is it. Like we should put it to
End
people.
industrialized meat production.
You can either be vegan or never have coffee. Never have coffee again. People will choose coffee. You know?
used to feed animals. The available solutions are uniquely able to make everybody on the political spectrum, rich or poor, unhappy. Meat is highly
Why? Why do they do that?
Yeah.
emotional, and there are a lot of whataboutism arguments floating around, like comparing it to the worst sources of emissions.
It's not. It's a
In the-
performance. It's a performance of debate. It's a circus of politics. So you can feel like you have any agency at all.
Speaking of
over
debates.
what fucking happens?
Speaking of debate, someone on my archive channel is asking if we can have a donation goal for extra Nat streams, and I really want to get Nat to debate someone
I told.
because she's a champion debater.
This came. This came about because I told her that I'd become a debate bro streamer whilst she was away.
In the end, it's pretty simple. Eating less meat alone won't stop climate change, but we also can't stop climate change without eating less meat. The same holds true for other things that are less crucial to our
We can't stop
survival,
climate
but
change
frankly
without eating
not
less meat.
realistic to make go away, like air travel, overseas shipping, mining, and the production of devices that play YouTube videos. So what does this
got
mean?
you.
Do we need to give up our
fucking-
way of life?
You fucking YouTube viewer.
And can the poor never achieve it? Can't some technology save us so we can continue to drive our big cars and eat meat every
I
day?
mean, that's-
Solutions versus expenses.
Ooh-wee.
In principle, this technology already
Where's that thing
exists.
again? Look, it's
Direct
that thing.
air capture of
It's that thing
CO2
again.
draws
They've
carbon
got that thing.
dioxide from the
They got that magical thing again. They've got the big thing with the fans. They got the thing again.
It's like the argument he's having is an appropriate one. He's saying, no, you can't magically fix it with the technology. No, don't pin your hopes on magical carbon capture so that you can maintain exactly the same lifestyle with
Yeah.
no change.
Yeah.
We actually need systemic social change to deal with this shit, but he is not coming anywhere near approaching the actual systemic social change that is required to do that.
Yeah.
So
air so that it can be stored underground or transformed into products. So why aren't we implementing it in every industry everywhere? Because with the technology we have right now, this would cost some $10 trillion per year.
money is fake. So what's that actually representing? If that's $10 trillion per year,
Yeah.
that's a big number. But money is fake.
Yeah.
Money is made up.
Yeah.
So what that actually represents to me is
Just
that
have a
it
fucking climate
requires-
core, you know?
What that represents to me is that it requires a ton more industry
Yeah.
to produce this shit in the first place, to tack on to every industry.
Yes.
And so that makes me go, that seems like a fake solution. A solution that requires 10 trillion blah 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 gazillion whatever of labor, resources, materials doesn't seem to me like a practical solution to climate change. Just my
Or half the United States GDP. This money has to come from somewhere, and currently no one is offering it.
money.
Just dumping these costs
Why
on
does the
massive
money have to come
polluters
from
like
somewhere?
steel mills and coal
The resources and labor have to come from somewhere.
Yes.
Money
Yes.
is a number that is applied to those resources and materials and labor.
This
and
is what I'm
that
saying.
money, that number is invented and it's relative.
Yeah. They could have a climate core. They could have, like, fucking
Yeah.
American troops. like maintaining this like.
Power stations would double the cost of their products, and so these industries that operate on very tight profit margins would go bankrupt. Getting the government to pay for it seems logical, but a lot of state resources are actually tied up doing the opposite, like subsidizing oil and gas, which seems counterintuitive but follows clear incentives. By artificially keeping fuel prices low, shipping and everyday...
Need to get ready for
What
my
would
appointment.
change those incentives? How do we envision those incentives changing? I would say what would change those incentives would be a radical, complete overhaul of how we make decisions about production and distribution, i.e. communism.
Yeah.
That is what would change. That is the only thing that would change those incentives.
I have to get ready for my GP appointment.
All right, are we heading off?
Let's blah, blah, blah.
goods are kept artificially cheap too, which has a major social impact on billions of people around the world. That creates political lobbies and incentives that perpetuate a cycle that makes it so hard to stop fossil fuel production.
This bird is based. That's the one. That's the shit.
While very costly solutions for a far-off problem, like carbon capture, seem like they can wait, as technically nobody benefits from it right now. Some argue that a move away from capitalism is the only solution to this mess. Others insist that markets should be even freer without any interventions like subsidies, and some suggest that we need what's referred to as degrowth, and to cut back as a species overall. But the truth is, at least as of now, no political system is doing an impressive job at becoming truly sustainable, and
Fascinating flags here.
Yeah.
none have really done so in the past. We also don't have the time to figure this out and do a lot of experiments.
Yeah,
we
communism
must
now.
implement solutions now. Not just to halt the release of all possible greenhouse gases, but also to start reducing the amount of
There's those
CO2
things
in the
again.
air. It's too late to just mend
big
our
things.
ways. We have to actively correct our past
what they look
mistakes.
like?
With every year
They
we
don't
waste,
exist.
more extreme changes will be
I've never seen a picture of a
unavoidable.
carbon capture device.
Okay,
They don't
let's
fucking
take a deep
exist.
breath. Rapid climate change and the world we live in are
Getting
complicated.
a call.
So here is where you, dear viewer, come in again. Could you
Me time.
please fix the
Hello?
climate?
Could you please
A
fix it?
narrative of our time is that we are all responsible for rapid climate change, that everyone needs to play their part. Why don't you buy a new electric car? Why don't you replace your gas stove with an electric one? How about you double glaze your windows, stop eating meat, and switch off your lights? Shifting responsibility from the largest carbon emitters to the average person, you, is much easier to do than solving problems. There's an extra bonus if solving
Good,
rapid
good.
climate change sells a new product. If you don't have the money or time for these
Yeah,
things,
that's
you should feel bad. It's an effective message because it's true. The quickest way to cut CO2 emissions would be if all rich populations on Earth drastically changed their lifestyles and if the people on the rise would not seek to achieve it, favouring the climate over comfort and wealth. If you're able to watch this video, that includes you.
Still the framing, favouring the climate over comfort and wealth. We can be comfortable and happy and have a better quality of life on a planet that is not dying for a start, but also on a communist planet where we don't have to exhaust ourselves on a daily basis doing work that makes the world worse, and instead have time to chill and vibe with people we like. It's actually good. It's actually fun. The solutions to climate change are actually chilling and vibing with loved ones. I think that's cool, actually.
But we've just witnessed a global experiment in staying at home, not using transport, and consuming less during the coronavirus pandemic. And all it did was reduce CO2 emissions by 7% for 2020.
Yes, because we still lived in a capitalist system. That's extremely significant as far as experiments go, that when we work less, we destroy the planet less. We are fighting for a world where we have to work less so that we can live on it.
Asking average people to solve rapid climate change breaks down when we look at the scale of the problem.
If we're not telling people you have to solve climate change by buying this thing, by being a good consumer, by sacrificing your quality of life, and instead we're telling people we need to solve climate change by working less and chilling out more, and also attacking the systems that are killing us. I think that's a good pitch.
Contributions towards reducing greenhouse gas emissions are nice, but they are dwarfed by the systemic reality of global emissions. The concept of your personal carbon footprint was popularized by the oil producer BP in a 2005 ad campaign.
True.
Arguably one of the most effective and sinister pieces of propaganda that still seriously distracts all of us from the reality of the situation. If you eliminated 100% of your emissions for the rest of your life, you would save 1 second's worth of emissions from the global energy sector. Even the most motivated person can't even make a tiny dent. When we put together the dangers of rapid climate change, the scale of emissions and the lack of consensus over how to solve it, the challenge seems insurmountable. It can cause...
But what if our pitch was chill out, vibe more, do some things that make you feel good, and also directly attack the systems that are killing us? I think that's a better pitch, honestly, myself.
Cause decision fatigue and moral licensing, where you no longer feel bad about behaving in a counterproductive way. Yeah. We have struggled a long time with this, which is why this video took us so long to make. So, what can you actually do? There are many different takes, and they are passionately discussed. We don't know who's right, so we can only offer you the Kurzgesagt perspective and opinion.
And capitalism.
Opinion part. What can you actually do? We need a different way to think and talk about rapid climate change. An all-encompassing systemic approach, nothing less than changing the fundamentals of our modern...
Oh, I am looking forward to hearing this all-encompassing systemic approach, based on what we've seen so far.
Industrial societies. As discussed in frustrating length, the personal responsibility...
Also, modern industrial societies. Modern.
...angle is overplayed. For systemic changes in technology, politics and the economy of this magnitude, we need to influence the people at the levers.
How might we do that?
Politicians need to know and feel strongly that the people care, that their own success depends on tackling rapid climate change. When governments and local politicians are reluctant to change laws that affect their biggest tax contributors or campaign donors, we need to vote them out.
Vote! You had it here, you gotta vote. You gotta vote really hard. The harder you vote, the less climate change happens.
And vote in people who respect science. We need to hold them accountable.
What do you say now?
The harder you vote, the less climate change happens. We need to hold them accountable and vote in people who respect science, like the lovely people like Kurzgesagt and Bill Gates.
For implementing the most effective climate change strategies.
Can we hold Bill Gates responsible?
Not waste our time with things like banning plastic straws, but by moving the big levers. Food, transportation and energy, while not forgetting the smaller ones like cement or construction. When industries fight against changing their ways for fear of losses or in an honest attempt to protect their own, we need politicians to change the laws and incentivize the deployment of existing technologies and massively invest in innovation for the fields where we don't have great solutions yet. There's no reason that the profit interests of industries could not match the need to reduce carbon emissions as much as possible. And if they still don't cooperate, harsh punishments and regulation need to force or...
How would we create harsh punishments and regulation? I guess we vote really hard for politicians that are good, and that will fix everything. The good politicians will implement harsh punishments and regulation.
Bankrupt them. it's still unrealistic that change of that scope can be forced onto a worldwide economy quickly enough, because many low-carbon technologies still need a lot of time and research, which means they're expensive. But more companies will make more efficient carbon capture systems, tasty meat alternatives, better batteries, cement alternatives, and so on if there's a clear and growing demand. And if you're...
That answer is still just personal responsibility. That is, be an effective consumer advocate for the environment. Like, they're going in circles.
affluent enough, you can do your part by investing in these things right now while they're still expensive. These are the mechanisms that will drive the prices down later on.
This is Bill Gates. This is Bill Gates speaking to you through this video right now. You gotta get rid of those green premiums. They've just done a section talking about how green individual responsibility, like voting with your wallet, green capitalism, like consumer advocacy, is worse than useless. It is actually a scam to deflect responsibility from the people in power. And then the solution that he proposes instead of that is to vote hard, vote harder, and vote with your wallet. This is just voting with your wallet again.
This is basically what you can do. Vote at the ballot, vote with your wallet. There are too many opposing interests and complicated grey zones. In the end, if we truly get the systemic change we need, everybody will be unhappy about some aspect of it.
Oh no, I froze.
Only if we all...
I froze on that. Jesus. Let's fix that. Okay. He just spent all that time talking about how, like, the politics of personal responsibility around climate change is a scam, and then just said to do that. Absolutely
Except that some solutions will have negative impacts for us. Can we have an honest conversation and make progress? Everybody will be a little unhappy, and that's okay.
No, they're still just selling us. They're still just selling us. We will have to reduce our quality of life to deal with climate change. No. No. We can distribute the resources and the energy and the efforts and the creativity that we have according to our actual needs and actual desires.
I heard you screaming.
And that will quite a lot improve our quality of life.
Can I get you over there? I had my GP appointment. It was all good.
Yeah.
It was all good and chill.
I'm really glad.
I have to call a support line, and then I'm going to get my GAC referral, and it was made in February 2021.
Oh, fab.
Yeah.
I knew it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Really glad.
Yeah. Woo! I'm going to get healthcare. Yeah, I'm going to get therapy. Ah, woo!
He spent all this time talking about how personal responsibility, carbon footprint was invented by the BP, fucking all bullshit, it's all a scam. And then he said, so what can you do? Vote really hard, and then started talking about how we need to reduce the green premiums.
Vote as
so
hard
I was
as you
like,
can.
okay, so he spent all this time talking
Slam
about
that
how
ballot in.
personal responsibility in this conversation is a scam.
I'm going to vote so fucking hard.
And now what he's saying is just vote really hard and vote with your wallet. And then that's the next thing he said. Vote at the ballot box. Vote with your wallet.
Wowee.
And he's still
Wow,
saying,
wowee,
you know,
wow.
this bit here is just saying we're going to suffer a reduced, slightly reduced quality of life, and that's okay. And I'm like, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. Our quality of life everywhere will be improved if we can actually create, produce, live according to our needs and desires.
This is chaotic energy. I just need to take a second. I'm gonna get healthcare. I'm gonna get on Trans Plus. I'm gonna get healthcare. I'm getting healthcare, everyone. Oh, fuck. They're gonna pay for my fucking laser. I'm gonna... Oh, shit, yes.
Oh shit, yes.
Whew. Fuck yeah. I just gotta get that fucking referral and my gender dysphoria diagnosis for a definitely real disease that totally exists. Ah, fuck. Hell yes. That's... Oh, jeez.
You've been stressing.
I've been really fucking stressed. I've been so fucking stressed about this. Everything feels great. Okay.
Well done.
All right. I love the carbon capture cartoon. I love the stupid thing they've made with the box with the fans. Can you lean back a little? I've got this light is it's a big shadow on my face. Oh jeez. Wow, fuck. I really love the box with the fans
They
that
might
leads
as
into a
well
little
just
tank.
be bringing like little UFOs with magic wands on, like.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna get healthcare. I'm gonna see doctors who know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm gonna get regular blood tests. Oh, fuck. Okay. They're gonna give me therapy. I'm gonna get fucking laser. I'm gonna get on a waiting list for bottom surgery. This is... Okay.
Informed consent now, death to the GICs.
Burn them down.
Burn them down.
Burn down the GICs. Fucking hell. Oh my god. Okay. I'm just taking a moment. I'll be ready to watch more Bill Gates propaganda in a second. I'm gonna get healthcare. Fucking hell. Okay. Let's go back a little bit. I missed some.
You're gonna get mad.
I believe you.
I got mad. The camera froze on me, pulling a mad face.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dr. Mimnar.
Opinion part.
The best GP in the fucking NHS.
Yeah.
What can you actually do? We need a different way to think and talk about rapid climate change.
Yes, we need to talk about revolution. We all need to get really comfortable using the word revolution.
Run,
Go talk to your fucking... Thank you, Nat.
revolution has begun.
Okay, yes. Go talk to people in your life and get them comfortable using the word revolution, because it's a word that we're all going to need to start using.
You will be very surprised by how quickly and how many people
Yeah.
are like, yeah.
Yeah, especially if you
All
start talking to
ages.
them about dual power, you start talking to them about what revolution means in terms of just like people taking care of each other
Yeah.
and letting the systems of state crumble away and fall apart. And if they understand that that's revolution, if you talk to them about Graeber's definition of revolution, the fundamental rearrangement of social relations on the most basic level, they'll be like, yes.
At this point, I feel like most people that I speak to across political spectrums of, you know, like average stated politics, across age
Yeah.
boundaries, like, feel very strongly there needs to be a fundamental shift in all of it.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
An all-encompassing systemic approach, nothing less than changing the fundamentals of our modern industrial societies. As discussed in frustrating length, the personal responsibility angle is overplayed.
Yes.
For systemic changes in technology, politics and the economy of this magnitude, we need to influence the people at the levers. Politicians need to know and feel strongly that the people care, that their own success depends on tackling rapid climate change.
Not even talking
When
about
governments
organized
and
labour,
local
like,
politicians are reluctant to change laws that affect their biggest tax contributors or campaign donors, We need to vote them out and vote
Sorry, I'm a little bit overwhelmed. Like, I'm gonna get healthcare. Like, it just felt completely fucking impossible, and I just.
End the stream.
I'm okay. I just need a second. Like, it's just a big deal.
It's a really big deal.
Whew. Fuck.
Solve the Rubik's Cube.
Nearly. Nearly. I still have to talk to the support people, and they suck. But then I'll have my stuff, and then I'll be okay. I have a copy of my gender dysphoria diagnosis in my email.
You got a woman on the inside.
I'm gonna actually get healthcare. Like. I will be okay in a second. I just like. Okay. All right.
in people who respect science. We need to hold them accountable for implementing the most effective
The science respecters like Kurzgesagt, Hank Green, and Bill Gates.
People who respect science immediately shows the
Everyone's
fan
sold.
box with the tank attached to it.
respect
Look at
science. We need to hold them
That's
accountable
science
No.
fiction.
Fucking look at this. People
them out and vote in people who respect science.
vote in people who respect science.
We need to hold them accountable
The box! Look at the box! Look at the box with the fans on it!
What's that? And
What
what
is that?
And what is that?
I respect science so much.
for implementing the most effective climate change strategies. Not waste our time with things like banning plastic straws, but by moving the big levers. Food, transportation
Yes.
and energy,
Yes.
while not forgetting the smaller ones like cement or construction. When industries fight against changing their ways for fear of losses or in an honest attempt to protect their own, we need politicians to change the laws and incentivize the deployment of existing technologies and massively invest in innovation for the fields where we don't have great solutions yet.
Or we need to organize to intervene and sabotage these systems. We need policymakers. Come on.
How are we going to get those?
Come
Where would they
on.
come from?
We need policymakers to invest in these things.
See, that would be quite a drastic change from what we have now.
Yeah.
So how would we make such a drastic change in time? By just caring more. Caring enough that we vote harder.
Look at the science pig.
The science
That's
pig.
the piggy bank you invest into for science.
There's no
Put money
reason
in
that
the
the
science
profit
pig.
interests of industries could not match the need to reduce carbon emissions as much as possible. And if they still don't cooperate, harsh
Oui.
punishments and regulation need to force or bankrupt them. It's still unrealistic that change of that scope can be forced onto a worldwide economy quickly enough.
I found the thing about honest attempts to protect their own pretty interesting, and I want to go back just a second to look at that. It was this thing about I might have gone too far. Hang on.
Politicians need to know and feel strongly that the people care, that their own success depends on tackling rapid climate change. When governments
Yeah, so you need to sabotage parties who will not commit to radical change. You need to actively sabotage them until they commit to radical
As long
change.
as there is a fascist next to them,
Yeah.
that's all they need.
Yeah. They're like, I'm not the fascist, so you have to vote for me. And
That's
it's like,
why
no.
they've got more fascists, so they can
Yeah.
get away with doing fucking bullshit.
It's all part of the
things.
same fucking machine, so they can carry on doing this fucking shit. And you have to say, fuck you, no, I'm gonna let the fascist go in if you don't commit to radical change.
That's the bluff. They're bluffing,
Yeah.
and you have to call it.
It's like this with trans rights in the UK right now. Labour is against trans people. The Labour Party is a supposedly progressive party, and they're like so anti-trans, so incredibly anti-trans. Keir Starmer saying that like kids shouldn't be allowed to change their names without parents' permission.
Labour MP is going to hate conferences.
LGBA hate conferences as guests, honoured guest speakers. Like, no, we have to say to them, well, we're not going to fucking vote for you then. We don't, like, we're surviving under the Tories. We'll keep protecting ourselves against this hostile government, against this hostile...
We're not going to launder your reputation.
Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. And it's the same thing with climate change. You have to show up and say, you're not getting my vote just because you're not the fascist.
But even that's still just dealing with electoralism on electoralism's terms.
Yeah.
We're going to organise labour so that we're not working all our lives for nothing.
Yeah.
And attack and destroy the systems that are murdering us.
Yeah. I want to see this thing about honest attempts to protect their own. I found that to be a really interesting line.
And local politicians are reluctant to change laws that affect their biggest tax contributors or campaign donors. We need to vote them out and vote in people who respect science. We need to hold them accountable for implementing the most effective climate change strategies. Not waste our time with things like banning plastic straws, but by moving the big levers. Food, transportation and energy, while not forgetting the smaller ones like cement or construction. When industries fight against changing their ways for fear of losses or in an honest attempt to protect their own...
So that's interesting, right?
That is interesting.
When industries...
That's an interesting thing to say. That's Bill Gates personally saying, give them a break. They're not bad people.
But like
they're still human beings.
Honest attempts to protect their own is alluding to unionization, right? And industrial industries unionizing was what got us shifted to a service sector economy in the imperial core. Like, all of us industrial sector workers were in unions, and then as part of the union busting shit, they were just like, well, we'll just pay people in other countries to manufacture our stuff for us.
So you mean like people protecting their jobs and stuff, basically?
Yeah. Honest attempts to protect their own means unionization, and they're just saying like they're positing unions as the enemy of climate change of climate activists.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare. That's that's such a sneaky little nightmare statement that they stuck in there.
No, you're right.
You know?
Yeah, you're right.
We need politicians to change the laws and incentivize the deployment of existing...
What is that thing? That thing with the gold star on it. What is that?
The one with the little magic stars.
What is it?
Shiny magic stars.
technologies and massively invest in innovation for the fields where we don't have great solutions yet. There's no reason that the profit interests of industries could not match the need to reduce carbon emissions as much as possible. And if they still don't cooperate, harsh punishments and regulation And if they could not match the need to reduce carbon emissions as much as possible. The profit interests of industries could not match the need to reduce carbon emissions as much as possible.
There's no reason that the profit interests could not align with reducing carbon emissions.
I actually, honestly, I can think of quite a few reasons. Quite big reasons.
Yeah.
Numero uno. Money is fake, and it was designed so that the ruling class can steal all of our lives and labor away from us and make us do whatever they want us to do.
Yeah. Okay.
And if they still don't cooperate, harsh punishments and regulation need to force or bankrupt them. It's still unrealistic that change of that scope can be forced onto a worldwide economy quickly enough, because many low-carbon technologies still need a lot of time and research, which means they're expensive.
Oh God.
But can be forced onto a worldwide economy quickly enough, because many low-carbon technologies still need a lot of time and research, which means they're expensive.
Green
But
premium,
more companies will
baby.
make more efficient carbon capture systems, tasty meat alternatives, better batteries, cement alternatives, and so on,
Still
if
just
there's a
manufacturing.
clear and growing demand.
Still just
And
manifesting.
if you're affluent enough, you can
And
do your
commodity.
part by investing in these things right now while they're still expensive. These are the mechanisms that will drive the
If you
prices
really
down
want
later on.
help, you should buy the things now to make it cheaper for other people so they can help too by buying things. He just spent a whole section talking about why exactly this is bullshit, only to say exactly this.
Shield Aiden in chat says, I gotta run, starting Get Really Baked and watch The Matrix Day early,
Hey.
since it's like 12 hours of movies. So happy for you, Sophie. Take care, everyone. Have fun, Shield Aiden. Everyone, please remember tomorrow is February 20th. Get Really Baked and watch The Matrix Day. that it's a self-explanatory name. It's a little trans holiday I've started, and we celebrate it. Okay.
So this is basically what you can do. Vote at the ballot, vote with your wallet. There are too many opposing interests and
That's why I was
complicated grey
That makes
zones.
sense.
In the end,
You were screaming at the smug little chicken whipping out his ballot.
Or vote with your ballot.
Oh
Vote
yeah,
with your wallet.
I'm voting.
That's been working
I'm
so
voting.
well so far. The mechanism he says we need to use is the one that he says people have already been using and hasn't been working. But he imagines that people just caring enough to do that
Yeah,
will change everything.
Yeah.
Even though he just said that was bullshit.
yeah. Interestingly, this bird here is saying "just stop." I know some people who've been saying "just stop."
What were they saying?
Just stop.
Just stop what?
Just stop something. Anyway, the response hasn't been great to them. The media and
What
police
did Bill Gates have to say
have
about
been
that?
have been pretty angry at them and have been treating them like scum.
Putting them in jail.
Someone in KCat4884 says, "Why February 20th?" Well, you see, a friend of mine. This really happened to my buddy Eric. A friend of mine watched The Matrix really baked on February 20th a few years ago, and it understood everything, understood all of the transgenderism, and it had to be celebrated every year since. It happened to a friend of mine.
if we truly get the systemic change we need, everybody will be unhappy about some aspect of it. Only if we all accept that some solutions will have negative impacts for us can we have an honest conversation and make progress. Everybody.
Ooh, will Bill Gates divest his oil shares, though?
That might be a little. It sounds like a personal sacrifice to him. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what if he really wants to eat those imported grapes? It's about equivalent, isn't it?
Yeah, you know.
So.
He does
Maybe
have a
he should
he does
just
have a
keep
whole
his
section
money.
right after that about how much he loves Impossible Burger.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh-wee. Ooh.
Will be a little unhappy, and that's okay.
Everybody will be a little unhappy, and that's okay.
No. I reject that.
The capitalist, neoliberal response to climate change is to tell everyone to make daily personal sacrifices, completely unknowable, with no hope of success, and then ask them to do it again when
Yeah.
they don't do that.
Yeah.
Because why would they?
Yeah.
Um,
Wow, you want to force Bill Gates to go broke, Sophie? No!
Yes.
Not at all. I want Bill Gates to be kept in a little zoo. A
when
little
he
zoo
jumps over that chair
for former-
everyone's enjoyment.
for former
He's
billionaires.
really good at it.
I want them to have a little zoo for former billionaires where they're forced to perform tasks that I find entertaining.
Anyway, this is where I was saying that the solution to climate change doesn't involve everyone's quality of life decreasing. It may mean them having less stuff, and I'm fine with that if they live in certain parts of the world. It means everyone's quality of life increasing because we can chill and vibe and actually enjoy the world, the people around us, because we have time to do it, and we aren't daily exhausting ourselves knowing that we're making the world uninhabitable.
Yeah. In my billionaire zoo, Jeff Bezos will be made to piss in bottles and drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Ironic.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah. I think that billionaires should be made to enact the conditions that they forced on workers. Except for Bill Gates, he should have to jump over the chair.
Because that's more fun.
It's more fun to watch Bill Gates jump over the chair.
Yeah.
5,000 times a day.
I would enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And
I
that
do-
is okay.
I do think Elon Musk should be fired into the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Elon Musk should be put on a rocket that's slowly careening towards the sun and be told that he can
In his car.
and
In a Tesla.
And
In a
be-
Tesla truck.
and be told that he has all the parts he needs to invent his way out of the problem. I think that Elon Musk should be put on a little rocket to be fired into the sun, and he has like an array of tools
Oh, that is fun.
that could work on the rocket.
That is really funny.
Yeah.
I do just want to see Elon Musk forced to do stand-up every day as well,
And it's
though.
streamed to everyone on
He
Earth.
also has to do stand-up. What's that happening?
He has a regular stand-up hour. A big alarm goes off that makes him do stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Mirror shit now.
Yeah. That's my billionaire zoo idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool.
I like that.
Hope you don't mind if I write these down. He should go to Mars and rebuild society on his own.
Yeah.
He should have to enact the Martian. He should be stranded on Mars with half a potato.
Well, that guy has loads of help from all the people on Earth who are really invested in him coming back safely.
Yeah, we should tell Elon
International
Musk.
solidarity.
We should tell Elon Musk that it's the same situation.
But he's just talking to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets to the rendezvous point
Don't
and there's
worry,
no rocket
Elon.
for him.
We got ya.
Yeah.
This is the best you can do. You can deal with the reality of the situation and promote your priorities through your behaviour and your actions.
My behavior and actions.
This is the most you can do. Vote at the ballot box. Vote with your wallet.
My behavior and actions will not be to vote at the ballot box and with my wallet. I think we can stop climate change with our behavior and actions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone here should get a copy of How to Blow Up a Pipeline by
Yes.
Andreas Malm.
Yeah.
And while you do so, you can eat less meat, fly less, or get an electric car. Not because you should feel guilty if you don't, or because you naively believe that you alone can stop rapid climate change, but to do your
can.
tiny,
Obviously
tiny
you can.
part for the systemic change we need.
Systemic change.
This video was
God,
supported
that-
by Gates Notes, the personal blog of Bill Gates.
Ooh-wee. Ooh.
That's
Ooh-wee,
why
wow.
it says exactly what Bill Gates says.
Ooh-wee.
That is why.
Ooh, wowee. Did you have a good time watching Kurzgesagt videos?
I enjoyed myself.
Was that good and cool? Yeah? That good?
I wouldn't describe it as good and cool, but it was certainly instructive.
I hope we've enlightened people here on why this was a bunch of bullshit. I just keep thinking about the box with the fans. You know, I just keep thinking about the it's like carbon capture and storage.
They might as well be popping like a little like magic potion kit every time. Like,
Oh god. All right. I have to do Red Planet in a little bit. So everyone here, please check out Red Planet Live on Twitch. We are going to be not Nat, we, the Red Planet hosts, are going to be talking about trans liberation in an hour. So please check it out. Wah. Right. If you have ideas for stuff that we could watch and talk about on here, let me know in the comments on the archive channel. And we might do some more of this, basically. There should also be some more Nat streams soon,
yeah.
right? You're going to do some streaming?
I'm going to destroy your reputation.
Great.
Cool.
Look forward to that. That's cool.
That's nice.
Let's raid Purin. Purin, there she is. Last chance to support the stream. If you've been enjoying the stream, you can subscribe or cheer or donate directly using command tip. And if you do that, what was I going to say? Also, patreon.com/Sophie from Mars if you want to support my work more broadly. That's the one that pays the bills. We have we have bills, yeah. We have gotten enough to keep the lights on through this stream. That's cool.
Thank you so much,
We will now, I'm gonna go and put money on the meter just now and pay my therapist. Oh, fucking hell. Won't have to pay my therapist anymore soon because I'll get fucking therapy paid for Trans Plus.
That's really good.
That's fucking sick, isn't it?
That's really good.
Everybody go and say hi to Purin. She's lovely. She's so sweet. She's a small little bean. I expect to see you all in an hour for Red Planet Live. It's at twitch.tv/Red Planet Live. We're talking about trans liberation and how we get there with Katie Montgomery. We'll cover the news and then we'll have Katie on for an hour and then we'll talk about trans liberation. So please be there. I'll see you all hopefully soon. Thank you all for the congrats on the healthcare. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Any last?
This was really fun, and I've been really, really enjoying streaming a lot, and I'm excited to do more of it.
Yeah,
See you
cool.
next time.
If there's more liberal propaganda we can react to on YouTube, I would
Always.
find that very fun.
Me too.
Cool. Good night, everyone. Remember, get really baked and watch The Matrix Day tomorrow. Bye.